Well, it was a disastrous day for the Phoenix Suns, especially Phoenix Suns fans. And the Arizona Cardinals are heading into free agency. We've seen some names, Josh Sweat being among them. However, there's a guy on the offensive side of the ball that I want to talk about for this team. I'll see you guys in a few seconds.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need him. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like callus. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
That was for Michael in the chat saying he's got his coffee ready. I have mine as well. Sometimes I forget to drink it, but it is here. What is up, guys? Welcome into the however many editions of the Ben Garcia Show live. Appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about the Ben Garcia Show. And also, if you don't mind, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Got Michael, Ivan, King Nacho in the chat, all for some reason who have been fans of mine since the beginning. I appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. I'd be really curious to see what it is you guys do for work. Anything at all. I guess you don't have to be working to be here at 6 a.m., but you guys are almost always here. So appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. Shorter show today. There is a million different things I have to get done today, but I wanted to be sure I got you guys a show this morning because the consistency to me is just ultimately what matters the most to me. And it also kind of sucked because yesterday I wasn't able to go on to Locked On Phoenix Suns because, unfortunately, I do have a day job. Well, I guess I shouldn't say unfortunately. I'm very fortunate to have a job, but that game yesterday started at 1:30, and I went into a meeting at 1:15 at my day job and was there for multiple hours. So there was no chance I got to watch that Suns game. And I just want to put it out there like this. I don't want to lie to you. I did not watch that Suns game yesterday because yesterday the story of the game and I purposely didn't watch it. Because the purpose of that game was not necessarily the Suns losing or the Suns winning or whatever it is, however which way you want to slice it. But ultimately what this was about was the pearl clutching and the hand-wringing of the Phoenix Suns' inability to be consistent. And what I saw yesterday on social media was a lot of outrage. And I would say one of my biggest flaws, and I don't have many of them, is my sometimes I take social media a little too seriously and at face value, when in reality, I probably shouldn't do that. But just to be fair, I do sometimes take it a little too literally. And yesterday, I got in a little bit of hot water. But that's what I do on social media. I don't curse. I don't tell you my political beliefs. I don't tell you, what I believe in. It's none of you guys don't care. I give you straight opinions and my authentic, and I'm not going to blow smoke. And yesterday I said, the Phoenix Suns are not blowing it up because you are in your feelings. The fans. Now, it doesn't mean people in my chat are, but there was a lot of this. Well, do not go. And sometimes that can be seen as a contrarian and just having a different opinion, just to have a different opinion. I don't know why that happens so often. Maybe I just see the world differently. That's why I really like sports. But I just got to be honest, man. It just gets a little frustrating. After every loss, the first thing fans do on social media is blow it up. Why in the world would you blow it up midway through the season? You'd be rushing a trade trying to get it done before, 2 or 3 weeks now. And the team would only suffer because of it. And I had someone come out, I don't even know the account, but they were basically saying, like, you should blow it up now because you should be worried that Kevin Durant could be a player that could get injured and have less trade value. And my response to that was, so we're just going to play scared? You want to hold on to Kevin Durant. You don't want to hold on to Kevin Durant till the end of the season because you're worried he could get hurt. If Kevin Durant sprains an ankle, his trade value isn't going anywhere. If Kevin Durant tears an ACL, tears an Achilles, sure. But those are risks I'm willing to take, and I don't think that that's going to happen. Those are pretty freak injuries. You can blow it up at the end of the season, and I am totally okay with it. But do not blow it up now to save face or make yourself feel better because it feels good. It just gets a little frustrating. And I use that word a lot because sometimes I just take fans for what it is at face value, but the emotion that comes after every loss is just exhausting. No one is forcing you to watch the Suns every time they play. I get it. They're at times unwatchable. I think Ivan said it in the chat this morning. Just bad basketball. And I wanted to make it a point because I was going to go back and watch this game, obviously. But I didn't, and that was one of the reasons why I wasn't. I know a lot of you guys follow Locked On Suns too. Brendan was very gracious to be able to do that show alone tomorrow or yesterday because I couldn't do it. I literally didn't watch the game. And I wanted to make it a point to not watch the game because I don't really care what happened. But my sports broadcasting idol, Colin Cowherd, regardless of what you feel about him, his sports opinions, I love the way that he conducts himself and runs a show. That's all I care about. He has this saying that I tend to use as well now, but it is obviously his. Say it out loud. If it sounds crazy, it's probably crazy, and you shouldn't be freaking out over it. And what it was yesterday was the Phoenix Suns, brand new rotation, brand new starting lineup, on the road, matinee game against the best team in basketball statistically and record-wise, right up there with the Thunder, lost. I hate to break it to you, but if the Denver Nuggets played the Cavs and they lost by that much, it wouldn't be that insane. It wouldn't be. And so this idea that we're blowing it up after losing to the number 1 seed on the road, who has lost 1 game to the Western Conference all year, is just insanity. And you're not going to take a discount. In fact, I will go as far as to say this. Not only will the Phoenix Suns not blow it up at the trade deadline, but Mat Ishbia just lost to his arch rival, that being Dan Gilbert. The mortgage business, for some reason, is a real thing. Very funny in the chat, Ivan. That was very funny. A little Colin Cowherd homage. Sorry. I would go so far as to say that the Phoenix Suns will actually go further all in. I don't think that they're going to blow it up. I think a trade for Jimmy Butler is more likely now than ever from the Suns side of things. Now more than ever. The mortgage business, for some reason, just causes arch rivals. But Dan Gilbert, Mat Ishbia do not like each other. After getting your brains kicked in by your arch rival, I do see Mat Ishbia going even more nutso and going after a Jimmy Butler, doing whatever it has to take to get that on the table. But the idea that you're just going to go 1.5 seasons with this core and blowing it up and taking a discount on everyone, because that's what happens. Guys, there are more assets available to you in the offseason. You can get more assets from people. Right now, Kevin Durant probably gets 3 firsts and maybe a player. In the offseason, you might be able to hold out, get 4 firsts, and really recuperate those assets. Bradley Beal, less money on his contract, maybe you can get off of it. But that's my other point. Bradley Beal, outside of a deal that includes Jimmy Butler, because it would have to make the money work, is an immovable contract. And if you ever did Move on from Bradley Beal. The only thing you would ever get is Jimmy Butler in return. Without Jimmy Butler in a trade, Bradley Beal is not getting moved. Like, just get over it. I don't like it. I loved Bradley Beal at Florida. I was super stoked when he came to the Suns. I was clearly wrong. But to act like you weren't happy about it either was kind of nonsense. We were all stoked that Beal was here. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. And Bradley Beal is that's just what it is, guys. I'm not thrilled for it. It happens. It's a bad look. But Beal is an immovable contract. I see constantly in social media too. I like to do this because I like to educate fans too. Trade Bradley Beal for a couple of role players. Guys, they would have done that yesterday. No one will take on Bradley Beal's contract. The only way outside of a Jimmy Butler deal that Bradley Beal gets dealt is if they give someone multiple assets as well to take on the deal. So sometimes I just get so frustrated, guys. The Suns will go further all in this season than they will be all out. And that's just the only way it is. I didn't watch the game yesterday, and I've watched every single Suns game this year. But I wanted to make it a point for people to understand blowing it up is not an option. You will take less assets in return. Bradley Beal is immovable outside of a deal for Jimmy Butler. Like, just stop complaining. Stop hand-wringing. No one's forcing you to watch the games. In fact, I would be as so inclined if I didn't cover this team to not watch the games. So, a little frustrating. I didn't see Beal's, I understand last night as well, I didn't see Beal's, I'm not going to speak on things I didn't watch, but Beal apparently was not thrilled yesterday. It looks like he was about ready just to be done with this team. I don't know. I don't know if I blame the guy, but then again, you make $50 million a year to play basketball, so just nonsense all the way around. But at the end of the day, for people to realize that this team is not going to blow it up, it just drives me insane because it is such a clickbaity thing to do. It is laziness. The one thing that I hate about any sort of job, sorry, I had to grab something. The one thing I hate about this job in particular, it's why I dislike the Evan Sideries of the world. It's why I dislike the fan accounts that act like they have sources. I work extremely hard at my job. I bust my butt. I work multiple jobs. I do what I can to craft these takes and be different and not give you guys the same opinion every day. I hate laziness. And the laziness that I see from guys like Evan Sidery, just news aggregating or fan accounts throwing out nonsense, or other people that just don't have sources that act like they do, or whatever it is. I hate the clickbaity take of just blow it up. There's no substance, and you're lying to yourself, and you're just trying to get clicks. All right, I spent way too much time on that, and I gotta be honest with you. I gotta move on here in a second. Let's spend 5 to 8 minutes on this. There's this idea that the Arizona Cardinals obviously need to go get real talent, but mostly on the defensive side of the ball. And we saw all of these different names thrown out there. You know, last year was Christian Wilkins. This year it's Josh Sweat. And a lot of the commotion, and I kind of disagree with this, so I'm not completely a contrarian, but what Kyler Murray needs is a real safety blanket. Trey McBride's that guy, but he is a tight end. He does things a little bit differently. Marvin Harrison Jr. clearly is not that guy yet. And yesterday there was a report that Cooper Kupp was unsure of what his career is going to look like going forward. Basically meaning he's not sure what's going to happen. And he was almost dealt at the trade deadline. He could be a cap casualty this year. And you see the T. Higgins, and I don't think that that's insane either. I would go give up $20 million to go get T. Higgins because you're not paying Marvin Harrison Jr. anything, and you're not going to spend all of your $110 million on the defensive side of the ball. And I think what we learned is that Kyler Murray over these past couple of weekends is a quarterback that needs a lot of things around him to be awesome for him to be awesome. And as much as I like T. Higgins, and I would not be against signing him, believe it or not, Tyreek Hill, no. Older, speed guy. I don't think he's a great locker room guy. But a player that I believe the Cardinals should go after if, and only if he is cut, you can't trade for the guy. The Rams wouldn't do that, is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp, 700 yards over the past couple of years, each and every season. He's a really good player that finds the open spots and zones. He's smart, and he's a security blanket. And I understand, even Nacho's pointing out in the chat, he's a guy like Beal who's always injured. Very funny, once again. But when you ask him to be the third option to Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride, and even at times the fourth option to James Conner, I don't think it is crazy to bring him into the fold, allow him to be a guy that gets open, is a security blanket for Kyler Murray, and it would be a slam dunk, I think. I like the T. Higgins idea, but it is $25 million you're probably going to allocate to him. Cooper Kupp is a cheaper option on a shorter deal that can help mentor a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. and can be a real safety blanket to Kyler Murray. And I've beat to death this idea that the Cardinals 1,000% need to go get help on the defensive side of the ball. I agree with that. It needs to happen. But I do think Kyler Murray is in need of a dire safety blanket that is not Trey McBride, that even makes Drew Petzing feel like it's a guy that could work for him. And if the Rams cut Cooper Kupp because their cap situation isn't necessarily that being one that is envious, I like the idea of bringing him into the Cardinals fold. That is a guy who is a winner, proven Super Bowl champion, a Super Bowl MVP, finds the soft spots and zones. That is a guy that I would really like to pair with Kyler. He would give him confidence over the middle. He'd be able to mentor Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think you'd be able to limit his injuries just a bit because he'd be the third and at times fourth option for this team. And he's not going to cost as much as a T. Higgins, who, again, I'm not against the Cardinals signing. The Cardinals wanted to go get him. You're not paying any money to Marvin Harrison Jr. You're not paying any money yet to Trey McBride, who will still be on a rookie deal next year, and then the extension will kick in. I love the idea of bringing him into this fold and really helping changing the culture. It's like the Chicago Bears, right? The Bears went and got the hotshot coordinator in Ben Johnson when probably they should have got someone that was a culture changer, although I don't think Ben Johnson is a bad hire. It's with the Cardinals as well. You have to be able, before you go and get the big flashy name like a T. Higgins or whatever, trade for Myles Garrett, who I don't think you're ready for just yet, go get a guy who has won before and can show the ropes to the younger guys, that being one of Kyler Murray, and help allow them to learn how to win. And Matthew Stafford for years was the safety blanket for Jared Goff, was the safety blanket for Matthew Stafford. And as much as the flashy big name guy like T. Higgins, who I like as well, who is always going to miss 4 to 5 games just like Cooper Kupp over the past couple of years, I would much rather allocate $15 million to Cooper Kupp and throw more money at the defense if he becomes available on the free agent market than I would a T. Higgins. And this is not to say the Cardinals don't need to go after players defensively. Don't get it twisted. I understand that. I'm just saying there is 1 or 2 guys on the free agency market that I do think make sense for the Cardinals, who are culture guys, who are gritty guys, the sneaky athletic guys, as we always like to mess around with white athletes for some reason. That's the adjectives we always use, but he makes sense on this team. I'm not saying don't go get guys for defense. I mean, for the love of God, I've made multiple videos, and I feel like I was the first to the go get Max Crosby train or the Micah Parsons. I'm not so sure if that would happen, but that's a guy I would go get if you could, if Max Crosby's not there. I get it. I'm totally there. Cornerback, linebackers, pass rusher, yes. But I think what Kyler Murray was missing last year was someone that he can trust over the middle to get open, find the soft spots and zones, and make it feel better for him. As well as it will help alleviate the pressure from Marvin Harrison Jr., as well as mentor Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think with all that, you just have to make that happen if it becomes available. You're not trading for him, 1,000%. I have to say that again. You're not trading for Cooper Kupp. Not only would the Rams not do it, they're not going to trade in division, but if he is a cap casualty, that is the perfect guy offensively to put $15 to $18 million in, $15, $17 million, maybe even less because of his injury history, to come in, mentor Marvin Harrison Jr., find the soft spots and zones, be the security blanket for Kyler, make Drew Petzing feel better to throw the ball down the middle, and allow Marvin Harrison Jr. to be the vertical threat, and allow him to mentor this team. That is something that I think makes a lot of sense for this Cardinals team. And I get that the comment section will be riddled with go get defensive players, but you shouldn't just pass up on offensive players because you want defensive guys. Pick and be decisive and be picky about who you want offensively. I don't mind a T. Higgins for the 1,000th time, but I just think Cooper Kupp fits the mold of this Cardinals team better than a third stringer on the cornerback side of things. It would genuinely, I believe, help this team and its ability to continue to develop. And he is a culture changer in that locker room and for this team. So that's where I would be on the Cooper Kupp situation. Anyways, guys, I did mention to you today's going to be a little bit of a shorter show. I got to jump out of here, but I appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. Sandman, King Nacho, Ivan, Michael, appreciate you guys being with me at 6 a.m., but got to head to a morning meeting just like yesterday, and I promise I won't miss any more Suns games as long as they're not at 1:30 on a weekday. But I appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about the Ben Garcia Show, as well as follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6 a.m., 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and as well as I will be in New Orleans for that whole week of the Super Bowl. Let me know what you guys might want to see. I'll be making sure I'll be making a lot of content over there. Anyways, guys, have a great day. Stay safe, and until tomorrow, it's been the Ben Garcia Show.